30-minute workout for triathletes. So whether you are a triathlete or just a swimmer, a runner or a cyclist, today my aim is to take you through some Pilates exercises that are going to help to build your strength and stamina and also work on your flexibility. So maintaining that strength, flexibility kind of boundary, if you like. So we're going to start with dart. This is really good for kind of thinking about your shoulders and thinking about your back extensors and keeping strength in those muscles. It's also good for your neck flexors. So whether you're an open water swimmer, and here comes the dog, that's always good. Go Lulu, that way, good girl, or come this way, either way. Whether you're an open water swimmer or a cyclist, your neck flexors take quite a hammering when you're always either looking for buoys or you're arching your neck forward while you're on your bike. So this is a really good exercise for just helping strengthening up those neck flexors. Take my sunglasses off for this one. So you're coming onto your front, you're bringing your hands out next to your body, palms are facing upwards. Then from here you're going to take an inhale. Think about that core, so I want you to pull your belly button towards your spine, and then you're going to exhale, bring your head, neck and shoulders off the floor, turn your palms so they're facing inwards. Make sure you don't lift your head up, so think about having a nice long neck stretching out through those cervical vertebrae. Taking an inhale here for me, and then exhale, slowly coming back to the mat. We're going to do that again, so we're going to inhale here, then exhale, sliding your hands down your sides, palms are facing in, pull your fingers towards your toes, hold it for an inhale, and then exhale, slowly coming back down, holding it here for an inhale, and exhale, holding at the top for an inhale, and then exhale, slowly bringing yourself down to the mat. We're going to do 4 more like this, taking an inhale at the bottom, keep thinking belly button to spine, so pull your belly button away from the mat, make sure you're keeping those core muscles engaged for me, and then slowly returning to the floor, taking an inhale here, and then exhale, coming back up, squeezing your shoulder blades together and feeling like they're sliding down your back. Taking an inhale at the top and then exhale, coming back down. We're going to do 2 more, taking an inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, head, neck and shoulders come up, palms come in, holding it here for an inhale, and then exhale, slowly back down. And final time, core engaged, head, neck and shoulders off the floor, palms turn in, hold it here for an inhale, and then exhale, slowly back down. Okay, from here we're going to add in a little extra arm lift. Now if this isn't quite right for you today and you feel any discomfort on that lower back, just go back to what we've just been doing. So eye line stays down at the floor, core engaged, and we're going to exhale and lift. Then you're going to turn your palms so they're facing the floor, bring your arms out in line with your shoulders, and then we're going to do 5 little pulses towards the ceiling. 2, 1, bring your palms back so they're facing your body, and then bring them back so they're facing the sky, holding it here for an inhale, and then exhale, head, neck and shoulders off, arms come in, then palms down, arms come out to the side, holding it here, and 5 little pulses higher. So there should be no discomfort on that lower back, all the work is coming from that upper back. Final pulse here, and then palms face your body, bring your arms in and back to the mat, core engaged, belly button to spine, lift and bring your arms forward. 5 little pulses. 2, 1, and then palms back to your sides and down, holding it here for an inhale, and then exhale. 5 pulses, and then palms facing in, come back to your sides and back down. Final one like this, core engaged, belly button to spine, come up, arms come forward, holding it here, eye line stays down at the floor, 5 little pulses. Then palms facing back, bring your arms back to your sides and slowly lower yourself back to the floor. From here, you're going to bring your left arm, so your elbow is slightly in front of your shoulder, and you're going to bring your right hand so it's next to your right shoulder. You're going to bring your legs together, you're going to bend your knees so your feet are up in the air. Then you're going to take your feet over to the left hand side and just apply a little bit of pressure through your right hand and just stretch out through the front of your chest. So this is a lovely stretch for tight chest muscles. And then coming back to the middle, and we're going to swap. So your right arm is going to come so your elbow is in front of your shoulder. Bring your left hand next to your left shoulder, feet come into the air, feet go over to the right, and just apply some pressure through that left hand, taking that stretch to your right shoulder. Hold it there. And then bring your feet back to the middle. Arms are coming back, legs are coming down. You're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself up and back into your wide-kneed child's pose. So you're taking your knees out wide and you're sitting your bum back in between them, pulling your shoulder blades down your back. Now make sure you haven't tucked your head and taken your head to the floor. Think about keeping that neck nice and long for me. Hold it here. Then from here, we're going to walk our hands around to the left. Think about pulling your right shoulder backwards as you stretch out through the right hand side of your back, holding it there for me. And then walking your hands around to the front and taking your hands around to the right hand side, stretching out through the left hand side of your back, so pulling your left shoulder back for me. And bring your hands back to the front, and we're coming into our next move. So our next move is a 4-point kneeling move. Now if this is uncomfortable on your wrist, you can always make a fist instead, or roll up a little towel or a bit of your mat so you can make like something to hold on to, and that really helps out any wrist niggles. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make a really good box. So your wrist should be under your shoulder and your knee should be under your hip. You're going to tilt your pelvis so that tailbone is pointing off towards the back wall. Engage that core. So again, think belly button to spine. Stabilize yourself through those core muscles. Then from here, this is a really good workout for shoulder stabilization and also for your core, and it's going to help you with coordination as well, which is great for all three sports. So we're going to take an inhale, then you're going to exhale and slide your opposite arm and leg out along the floor and then reach them up. Now careful your hip doesn't hip hitch, so you don't bring one hip higher than the other. Think about your hips staying in alignment, really engage through those core muscles. Holding it here, then you're going to bring your arm and leg into the middle. So you're going to coil yourself in and make yourself into a tiny ball. Bring your head towards your knee, hold it for an inhale. Then you're going to exhale, you're going to stretch out. Remember to take your head back up with you, don't look back towards your knee, hold it for an inhale. Then we're going to exhale. bring that arm and leg back into the middle, knee to forehead. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale, pushing back out again, really stretching through that arm and leg, make them longer. And then we're going to go again, so bringing yourself into the middle, coiling yourself up into a tiny ball. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale, pushing back out, stretching through that arm and leg, pelvic floor engaged, core is on. And then we're going to come back into the middle. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale, pushing back through that arm and leg, taking an inhale, and then exhale, holding in the middle for an inhale, and then exhale, moving back out. We're going to do 2 more on this side, core engaged. Really reach that arm and leg away from each other, and then slowly bring yourself back into the middle. Hold it in the middle, and then slowly reaching back out. This time bringing your hand down and your leg down. Okay, from here we're doing the other side. So making sure you're resetting your box, so knees are under your hips, wrists are under your shoulders, core's engaged, pelvis is in neutral, so tailbone is pointing off towards the back wall. Holding it here for an inhale. Then you're going to exhale. Slide that arm and leg out along the floor and reach them up. Stretch out through your toes and fingers, and then slowly curl yourself back into the middle. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale. Stretching out through your arm and leg, and then curling yourself back into the middle. Remember, bring your head to your knee, but then when you bring yourself back up, your head comes back into alignment, so you've got a nice long neck. You're not leaving your head looking down. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale, curling back into the middle. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale. Stretching out through that arm and leg, make them longer, don't let that hip hitch, and then bringing it back to the middle, holding for an inhale, and then exhale. Stretching out through that arm and leg, make them longer, and then exhale, bringing them into the middle. Hold it for an inhale, and then exhale. Stretching out through that arm and leg, and then coming into the middle. Remember, tuck your head in, and then as you come back up, bring your head back out. We've got 3 more to go on this side. Core engaged, you're doing really well. Tucking in, and then slowly coming back out. Little wobble there. Taking an inhale, and then exhale. Coming into the middle, holding it here, and then exhale, pushing out. Final one. Core engaged, think belly button to spine. Bring your knee and elbow together, and then slowly push them away. Stretch out through that arm and leg. Bring your arm and leg back down. Well done. Giving those wrists a little wiggle if they need it. Okay. From here, you can either just come to high knees, so you're up on your knees, or you can stay sitting if you would prefer, however's comfortable for you. And we're going to do some arm exercises. So we're going to do a floating arm, and this is really good for your shoulder. You could always add in a weight to this as well if you wanted to, but today I'm just going to do it without a weight. So either sitting or coming to high knees, however is comfortable for you. Core engaged, so think about pulling that belly button towards your spine, pulling your ribs down towards your hips. You're going to take your left hand and place it on your right shoulder, turning your palm so it's going to face upwards. You're going to just move your arm slowly up until you feel your shoulders start to move. Once you feel like that shoulder's starting to move up, you're going to hold it there, turn your palm down, and bring that arm down by your side. Core engaged, belly button to spine, slowly bringing that arm back up, holding it there where you can feel that shoulder start to move, and then bringing it back down. So this is just a nice mobilization exercise for your shoulder. I'm going to do 3 more on this side. And final 2. And final 1. Okay, then we're coming on to the other side. So right hand on your left shoulder, turn your left palm out, and then just lift your arm up as far as you can without that shoulder lifting, and then come down. So you might notice that one side you can lift higher than the other, and that just means there's a little bit of tightness there, and you can start to iron that out by just working through little exercises like this and through the one that we're going to do after this. Keep thinking belly button to spine, keep that core engaged, so don't forget about those core muscles just because we're working through that arm. Keep focusing on that core as well. I'm going to do 3 more. Think about inhaling and lifting, and then exhaling and slowly lowering that arm back down. Final 2. And final 1. Okay, then from here we're going to look at our rotator cuff. So again, you could either add in some weight, or if you've got a resistance band, you could use that as well. But we're going to imagine for today that we've got some sponges in our hands. So you're going to squeeze those sponges. You're keeping the top of your arm next to your body, and you're just taking the bottom of your arm out to the side. Core stays engaged. Bring those arms back to the middle. Release those sponges. Squeeze the water out of those sponges. Take your arms out to the side, hold it, and then slowly bring it back to the middle and release. So squeeze and out, and in and release. Squeeze and out, and in and release. 2 more like this. Squeeze and out, and in and release. Final 1. Squeeze and out, and in and release. Okay, we're going to up it a little bit and work into those deltoids. So we're going to squeeze, take the bottom half of your arm out, and then push out further. Come back in and release. Squeeze and out, in and release. Squeeze and out, and in and release. Final 1. Squeeze. Got too hot for Luna, not surprised with a double coat. And release. Okay, well done. From here we are coming on to another little core exercise. So we're going to do a hover. It's the other way around this time. So again, you can roll up your mat or towel to make a little soft thing for your wrists if you need it. And then you're bringing yourself into, then we're going to come into our 4-point kneeling position. So wrist is under your shoulder, knee is under your hip, tilting your pelvis so that tailbone is pointing off at the back wall. Core engaged, pelvic floor on. So think about scooping up that pelvic floor. Eye line stays down on the floor, so don't be tempted to bring your head up or look towards your knees. From here, we're going to tuck those toes under, take an inhale. Then on the exhale, we're going to just slide those knees off the floor and hover. Now make sure you haven't moved all of your weight backwards. Think about the weight staying even between your toes and your hands, holding it here. And then slowly bringing your knees back down. We're going to do 2 more like this. So core engaged, taking an inhale, and then exhale. Lift those knees up. It's a sign that it's warm when the mat sticks to you. Holding it here. Keep thinking belly button to spine. Don't let your weight go backwards. Keep that weight even. You've got 15 seconds to go. And then slowly lowering back down. Okay, final one like this. Taking an inhale and exhale. Holding it up here. Breathing naturally up here. Keeping hold of that core though. So think about pulling your belly button towards your spine. Keep your eye line down at the floor. Got another 15 seconds to go. And then slowly lowering back down. Okay, from here we're going to up it slightly. If you're not ready for this, just continue with the hover or just have a little rest if you want to. So core engaged, pelvic floor on. We're going to take an inhale. Then you're going to exhale. Bring your knees off the floor, and then we're just going to gently lift one foot, place it back down, lift the other foot, place it back down. Now when you do this, try not to let the weight swing from side to side. Think about keeping the weight even, and you're just hovering that foot, placing it back down, hovering that foot, placing it back down, and then coming down. Going to do 2 more like this. So core engaged, taking an inhale, and exhale and lift. Holding it here, think belly button to spine, and then you're just going to slowly lift and lower, lift and lower. 2 more on each side, lift and lower. Keep that weight even, don't swing from side to side. Keep using those core muscles. Stabilize your shoulders by bringing your shoulder blades down your back, and then slowly lower. Final one like this. You're doing really well. Take an inhale and exhale, bringing those knees off the ground and lifting a foot and down, lift and down, lift and down, lift and down, then slowly lowering those knees. Okay, so we're going to up it one more time. So this time we're going to take a leg out. Now if this isn't right for you, again, just stick with the option that's working for you today. So feet are back tucked, cores engaged, shoulders are over your wrists, hips are over your knees. Taking an inhale, then you're going to exhale, hover, hold it here. Then you're going to stretch your right leg out behind you, hold it. Try not to lift your pelvis into the air, keep everything nice and low, and then slowly bring that leg back in. Other leg goes out, core engaged, hold, and then slowly bring it back in. 1 more on each side, slowly take it out, hold, and then bring it back in, and other side, out and hold, and then slowly bring it back in, knees to the floor. 2 more, here we go. Taking an inhale, exhale, hover, hold it here, and then stretch, and back in, and stretch, and back in. And final time to each side, stretching that leg out and slowly bringing it back in, and other side, stretching it out, slowly bringing it back in and coming down. Final time, taking an inhale and exhale, knees come off, hold it here. Remember, you can stick with this version if you need to. Don't try and do the harder version just because you really want to. Make sure that you're working at the version where you can keep control of those core muscles and you're not letting other global muscles come in and play for you. Hold it and lower. Well done. Give yourself a little wrist wiggle. Okay, so we're coming on to our next exercise, and we're going to lie down. You're going to need just a little cushion or something just under your head, just to keep your head in alignment. And I'm going to need sunglasses, either I'm never going to be able to see anything. Okay, so from here we are coming on to shoulder bridge. So this is one of my favourite exercises because it's really good for lengthening out through your quads, and as a cyclist mine are quite tight, stretching out and strengthening through those hamstrings and through your glutes. So we need to think about our setup first. So your feet should be facing forward. Make sure they're not off at some funky angle. Knees are in line with your hips, and then your feet are in line with your knees and hips. Then thinking about your core. So we want to keep our spine in its neutral S curve. So to find that, what we're going to do is just tilt your pelvis up and down. And then I want you to bring it to a standstill where there's a straight line between your pubic bone and your belly button. So they're basically in a line. When you find this, there should be a little gap under your lower back. You're going to keep it there, so make sure you're not arching your back or doming your belly. You're going to pull your ribs down towards your hips, engage that rectus abdominis. Arms are just gently resting on the floor. There's no tension in that upper body. Then we're going to take an inhale. Then you're going to exhale. Now you're going to take your spine out of neutral. You're going to tilt your pelvis down so your back is flat on the floor, and then you're going to lift your pelvis up into the air and bring yourself into your shoulder bridge position. Making yourself into a ski slope, you're going to squeeze your glutes, keep your hips up. Just check in with your ribs as well. Make sure you haven't flared and arched your back. Pull your ribs down towards your hips. Again, weights in your shoulders, but there's no tension there. Taking an inhale, and then we're going to exhale. Slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. So you're keeping your pelvis off the ground for as long as you can. Rolling into your neutral, holding it here for an inhale. Then you're going to exhale. Slowly roll yourself back up into your bridge, squeezing your glutes to the top. Keep your hips lifted, taking an inhale. Then you're going to exhale. Slowly come down, keep squeezing those glutes, make those muscles work for you. And come back into your neutral spine, so back to where that pubic bone and belly button are in a straight line. Holding it here for an inhale. This time we're going to add in a little bit of work for that thigh. So we're coming up, you're going to squeeze your glutes at the top, and then from here, keeping your hips lifted, you're going to take your knees out to the side and back in. We're going to do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Then holding yourself here, we're going to take an inhale, and then exhale. Slowly rolling yourself back down to the mat. Taking an inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, tucking that pelvis, slowly rolling yourself back up into your bridge. Holding at the top, pull your ribs down towards your hips, keep your hips lifted, and then we're going to pulse out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and final 1. You should really feel that in the side of your glute. Taking an inhale, and then exhale. Slowly rolling yourself back down. Okay. So if you want to, stick with that. If not, we're just going to up it slightly. So this time you're going to take an inhale. Exhale, roll up into your bridge. Holding your bridge at the top. This time you're going to lift a leg, and we're going to do 5 pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now make sure when you do this that your hip hasn't dropped. So think about squeezing that glute, keeping your hip lifted. Then you're going to bring that leg down, and we're going to do the other side. Lift that leg, 5 little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that leg back to the floor, and then roll yourself back down. So if that isn't quite right for you, if you can't keep your hips level, just go back to the opening of the knee, or you could just do 5 little pulses higher with both feet on the floor. Taking an inhale here, we're going to do 1 more. Then exhale, rolling yourself back up into your bridge, holding at the top, hips stay level, lift the leg. 5 little pulses higher, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring that leg back to the floor with control, core engaged, lift the other side, keep your hips lifted, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly lowering that leg back to the floor, taking an inhale here, And then exhale, slowly rolling one vertebrae at a time back to the mat. Okay, from here you are going to take your right leg out long, bring your left leg up on top, and then you're going to guide your left leg over to the right hand side of your body and just hold it there. Breathe into that stretch. And bringing that leg back to the middle, taking that leg out long, bringing your right leg up and then guiding that right leg over to the left hand side of your body, holding that stretch. And bringing that leg back to the middle, taking your legs out long and giving yourself a full body stretch. And then from here, you're going to bring your arms up into the air. Take an inhale. Then exhale. Tuck your chin and see if you can roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time and back to sitting. If you know you can't do that, just finding your way back to sitting. Okay. So we're going to come to sitting and we're going to do our final little stretch. So cores engaged, think about pulling your ribs down towards your hips, sitting on your sit bones, so keep them on the floor. You're going to bring your elbows and palms together and we're going to stretch out through that mid back. So you're going to squeeze your elbows together for as long as you can, taking them above your head, and then bring them round in a big circle back to the beginning. So squeeze those elbows together, up and round. Squeeze those elbows together, back up and round, and final two, and final one, and then bringing your arms back down. Well done. I hope you enjoyed my Pilates for triathletes. This was just a little taster of what you can get when you join one of my masterclasses. So if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Beyond the Studio Pilates, I'm going to be running some masterclasses for running, swimming and cycling in the middle of August, 17th, 18th and 19th, I think, from memory. So come and join me for those and get a real full taster of what Pilates can do and how you can add it into your training. They're 45-minute masterclasses in each sport. I hope to see you again on a mat very soon.